Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In this presentation, we'll have a view to polycarbonate-based films, which are the materials which are actually used for making cards, passports, and driving license or ID documents. So materials then which actually are used for making high security documents. Let us go through this presentation step by step, having first a view to the polycarbonate resins and films. What is actually polycarbonate resin? Polycarbonate, it's a thermoplastic polymer. The key properties of it is the high transparency, wide field of operation temperature from minus 60 degrees Celsius up to plus 25, 125 or even more. Actually, it can go up to 140 degrees Celsius, but to be safe, let's say 120. It has an excellent impact and fracture resistance, high dimensional stability, and low water absorption.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 conferences about to start. Cards and payments Middle East, prepaid, and mobile money. Please can you make your way to the conference room. Thank you.
So polycarbonate films, how are these made? We make the polycarbonate films by a process called extrusion. So we melt the polycarbonate granules, and by pressing them through a die, you can see the pictures down there. The film actually gets its shape, and by embossing it by the rollers, we actually can create various surface qualities onto the polycarbonate film, from gloss surfaces up to matte, or combination of gloss, matte, and so on. What are the key characteristics of polycarbonate films? Polycarbonate film has actually is a material with a low stress, so you can laminate it easily without actually a big change in the shape of the sheet or any other irregularities that possibly you can face during the lamination process. We have various grades of transparent and white films, as I said, with various textures, and quite a high number of special grades for laser engraving, for reduced electrostatic build-up, for improved scratch and chemical resistance of the document surface, of the document's outer surface, and special grades for digital personalization, like personalization by dye sublimation. Let us go through the next point, polycarbonate documents. What are the properties of polycarbonate documents? As I said before, mainly high security documents, driving license, passports, ID cards, and so on. Why is polycarbonate used for that kind of documents? Because actually point 1 is the high security of these documents, yes, so very difficult to counterfeit. Yeah, this is, I would say, the reason number 1. Then also, of course, the long lifetime of polycarbonate documents. So our customers actually can give guarantees of 10 and more years for documents made out of polycarbonate, yes. Even some documents have a lifetime guarantee. In this graphic here, we see on the x-axis the operational temperature of the documents, on the y-axis the lifetime in years of such a document, and as you can see, polycarbonate is actually a good combination of both. So compared to other materials, I would say you are very far away, let's say, on the safe side of it. So let us go to the key point here, processing of polycarbonate films for making these documents. First, to the, I would say, most important processing step for polycarbonate, which is actually the high security printing, which is typically done with offset. So printing on polycarbonate is possible with I would say, standard offset printing technique. That means water or waterless offset printing technology with UV curing inks or infrared curing inks. Yeah? There are no coatings or primers required onto the polycarbonate film in order to make it printable. You can print on it on the surface as you get it from buyer. Yeah. You can see down there some magnified pictures from the surface of such a document. You see micro printing is possible in a higher resolution without any problems. Furthermore, polycarbonate, because it's a quite stiff material, you can print it in an easy way without having any kind of expansion or construction of the material. We will actually make your life difficult during the printing process. There are special polycarbonate films available from Bayer, which actually allow to print on them even if they are in thickness ranges which are around 50 microns. Yeah. How does this work? These films are actually specially treated by Bayer by putting additives into them that make the film, if you want, so anti-static, so it has a higher surface electrical conductivity, and that allows to feed the machine, the offset printing machine, very easily without having static build-up, so the film will not get somehow stuck into the feeding unit of the offset printing machine, and you will get a very good printing result. As you see there, the anti-static polycarbonate films go down to a surface resistivity of 10 to the 11th ohm, where the standard have a surface resistivity of 10 to the 17th ohm. Also, digital printing is possible on polycarbonate films. Today's most used digital printing technique on polycarbonate film is inkjet technique. Here you see pictures of two documents. On the left side from the Polish State Print House, a sample of a driving license personalized with inkjet. On the right side from the German Bundesdruckerei, made with special inks, special inkjet inks which penetrate into the polycarbonate. The point here is the personalization of the document has to be done prior to the lamination process. So you first print on the document, then the offset printing, then you make the picture, then you laminate, and then actually the laser engraving will follow. If it comes to colored personalization by using dye sublimation printers, as seen in the picture, then special polycarbonate films are required from Bayer. These films are optimized for that printing process by having a functional layer on one side of them that actually will be compatible with the typical color ribbons which are used from that kind of printing machines. Laser personalization. Something that most people don't know, polycarbonate is actually not laser engravable itself. We make the films laser engravable by putting special additives into the polycarbonate resin. And by doing that, it's possible then to get very good laser engraving results, as you can see here. Laser engraving results, or the quality of the laser engraved image, is not only actually linked to the quality, or let's say to the kind of film that you use, but also to the way how the document is built up and the laser engraving parameters themselves. You can see the picture down there. Actually, all images are laser engraved with actually the same settings of the laser engraving machine, although the pictures differ a little bit one to the other. Here are some pictures of a laser engraved image through a hologram. As you can see, these special polycarbonate films from Bayer are so sensitive to the laser beam that you actually can laser engrave through holograms and other security features without destroying them with the laser beam. Yes? So even the low sensitivity of the laser will result to a high contrast black and white picture without having any further problems with inks or holograms or other kind of stuff inside the document. Personalization, you can do it in two ways. Having a glossy surface after the laser personalization operation. You see it here. The picture of that lady looks very glossy, so the image is actually created fully inside the document. You see the cut through the profile of the card there, covered by transparent film. But you can do it also in another way. You actually can make a so-called tactile laser engraving by adjusting the laser beam of the laser engraving machine, but also on a certain way by the construction of the document. Also CLI, MLI features are very comfortable to be done with polycarbonate films. You see here in this picture a cut through a profile cut through a picture, through a card made with MLI security feature. You see the part of transparent material on top and the laser engravable part of the film beneath it. And by doing that and then accurate focusing of the laser, you can get that multi-picture laser engraving images in there. Lamination, when it comes to the lamination, polycarbonate actually has its strong point here because it doesn't need any adhesives in order to get laminated, and that is a very important point to the security of the document, yes. In the ID documents world, adhesives are not so well seen because by exposing the document to I would say maybe a higher heat, or by boiling the document, you can then destroy the adhesive layer and you can open the document and change some things inside there, which is actually not wanted. Yeah? So here, only by applying heat and pressure, you achieve actually a kind of full surface welding of the document so that you cannot open the document afterwards anymore. What you see also here is this document is made with the special polycarbonate overlay film that Bayer offers, which has an anti-scratch surface that provides additional, I would say advantages during the lamination process because the document surface is less scratch resistance. That means during opening the cassette after the lamination process, the risk of scratching the big sheet is significantly less compared to a sheet which is not protected. And you can see at the very right side there the picture where half of the document is made with an anti-scratch overlay film and the other half with standard. And after making the abrasion test, how bad one part of the card looks and how nice the other side, the left side of the picture, where the anti-scratch overlay film has been used. Yes. Additionally to that, very easy to transfer engraved security features from the lamination plates on the document surface, even if they are in a size of 0.1, 0.2 millimeters, very well to emboss the surface of the polycarbonate document. Here, a very simple way how actually to evaluate the scratch resistance of a polycarbonate laminate. Yeah? Very easy with a hammer and some steel wool, just by wrapping it around the hammer and doing 10 wraps. We say that with our films, the delta in the gloss it will be less than 5 units. Die cutting, this is something that you have to pay attention when you work with polycarbonate films. For die cut or for punching polycarbonate films, special tools are required, tools which are compatible with polycarbonate, because by using the PVC tools to punch polycarbonate cards, you actually will find yourself in trouble. The stability of a die cutting tool or punching tool for PVC will very soon give up the operation, the edge quality will not be fine enough. As you can see in these pictures here, the very right side picture, the edge quality of this card is quite bad. Yes, done with an appropriate tool for polycarbonate. Yeah. Here on the very left side, you see the edge quality very good. Yeah. Die cutting profile perfect. The surface a bit rough, but still okay. In the center picture, you see the overall quality is very good. Yes, but this is punched.
The conferences are about to start. Cards and payments, mobile money, and prepaid. Please can you make your way to the conference room? Thank you.
So the center picture, you see the edge is, the angularity is very good, and also the edge is very clean, but this is punched from both sides with a special punching technique, special punching tools, which are more expensive, but you see you can achieve without really a perfect edge quality in a polycarbonate card. Let us go through the next point, materials overview. I will not go through all of this in detail, but as you can see with polycarbonate, you can actually, I would say implement all the security features which are available in the security documents market in the polycarbonate card. It gives you advantages in processing. It gives you many advantages in the documents characteristics afterwards. I would say the only limitation with polycarbonate is if you compare the price of the materials, it is of course a more expensive material that makes the document also itself more expensive. Otherwise, I would say it is, for making that kind of documents, the best choice. Here are some counterfeit examples. What we see up there in the left corner is a card, a hybrid card made of a polycarbonate overlay and a core made of another kind of material, a soft material. And you can see by having different, let's say, mechanical properties of the materials, I can easily cut through it with the sharp item, with a knife or something like this, separate, open the document, and I can change actually the picture from the inside, stick it together again, and then I get a new identity. Yeah? Something that is also very often, I would say, used from people who want to change document is the boiling technique. They take the cards, which are done with adhesives, boil them into hot water for 20 minutes or so, and then you see what happens. The overlay material or the whole document actually, delaminates. It opens up in its pieces. You can change it and stick it together again and make a new card out of it. And down there you see in the picture, cards made of polycarbonate, boiling in hot water. After 20 minutes, nothing happens. The documents still look perfect. So, what brings the future? We already have done many developments in the last years in the field of polycarbonate films by doing these special grades, special films for digital printing with anti-scratch properties. Now we go, I would say, more in the direction of having films somewhere in the future where, I would say the electronics will be joining. Having displays or security features done in an electronic way with ultra-thin colored displays based on organic light emitting diodes or other kind of electronic elements. And we as Bayer always try to match these trends by actually adjusting our materials to the need of the markets. So, some statements for forward-looking statements which I have to show you here, but you can read that in the presentation later when you get in your hands technical advice. And thank you very much for your attention. If you have some questions, you can ask me now, or come later to our booth over there, just around the corner, to speak about this. Thank you very much.
Could concerning the anti-scratch layer, okay? Because I've dealt with polycarbonate as an ID card before, and scratching become a problem after some time.
Yes.
The card lose its shine and so on. So do you deliver the sheets already treated with anti-scratch material, or you sell it as a separate product that the customer has to do lamination for later on?
We sell the overlay film already covered with this anti-scratch varnish. So you can buy from buyer a 100 microns thick, transparent overlay film that is anti-scratch and chemical, let's say, protected from one side, that you can directly laminate or use in your lamination process. And it is available in two versions, either in transparent natural or in transparent laser engravable.
Okay, and this does not add to the thickness of the sheet or something? It is already, I mean,
yes, it is
standard.
You get it in one thickness. The film thickness is 105 micrometers.
Yeah.
That is at the moment the only thickness we have. Mm-hmm. And you, as I said, you can use it then directly onto the build-up of your document. You laminate it, punch the cards out, finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other question is concerning the laser engraving. Okay, has there been any progress in the area of color laser engraving, or not in consideration yet?
Not yet. So in terms of color laser engraving, we only can offer at the moment grayscales laser engraving, black and white grayscales. Something that we also can offer is single colors, but then the document will not be white anymore, it will be dark. So we have materials, we have films that are dark, you laser engrave them, and then you can create single colors, yellow, blue, magenta. Yeah, this is possible, but the document looks black then, which is something that the market doesn't like so much.
Okay, thank you.
So no other questions? Thank you very much.